Hi everybody, happy Friday. As promised, I said that I would come today and we would do a live video. I posted yesterday a comment that says, "Are you free?" So I want to talk about that today. I want to give a few minutes just to see if anybody's gonna come on today. And I know it's, again, middle of the day, so it's kind of hard for people to get on. Hi, Mr. Ingram. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Nathan. Bonjour. Hi, Mr. Coleman. Nathan is one of my friends' family that I had the privilege of meeting while I was in Haiti. His family has become my family. They embraced us while we were there, treated us like we're family, had dinner with them. So I am just blessed to call them family. He and his lovely wife, Manatees, I'm just blessed to have them in my life. Hi, Miss Portia, how are you? So just kind of seeing if a few more people are gonna come on. Again, just to refresh, we said we're gonna talk about a little bit, are you free? That's what we're gonna chime in on today and see where we are in our lives, in our walk, and it's not even about ministry, it's just about life in general. I said it feels kind of weird waiting for people to join and see if they're gonna chime in today. Hope everybody's doing well. How is everybody? Is everybody having a wonderful week, staying safe? Know that it's extremely hot out there today. Well, it's been extremely hot all week. So I hope everyone is doing well, family's doing well. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started, and as people come in, we're just gonna hopefully I won't be interrupted with watching the messages because I'm still learning how to do this. But one of the questions that we talked about and we had been, was kind of basically brought up was, are we free? And what do we mean when it's like, are you free? Are you free? Are you free from everything that basically holds you back and that keeps you from going forward, that keeps you from growing and walking purposeful, or being in positive relationships, or having a friendship circle that is positive, that is enforcing you and that is keeping you accountable, that is making sure that you are where you need to be, and likewise. So we ask, are you free? Are you free from those things in your past that constantly hold you captive, that keep you from walking in what it is that you need to walk in? Today I wrote down a couple things, and one of the first things that I thought about is, what holds us captive? What keeps us? A lot of the things that we don't even think about. One of the major things that holds us captive is ourselves. Have we had so much things that would have gone on in our lives and situations that have happened in our past? Have we let those things go? Have we continue, or do we continue to hold on to them? Do we continue to say, oh, I'm not where I should be, or I'm not walking the way that I should be walking. I'm not doing the things that people think that I should be. Are we holding ourselves captive because we're so focused on what everybody else thinks about us and what we think about ourselves? We don't value who we are. We don't realize that, the word says that, it's gone. God has forgotten about it. So why are we continuing to hold on to things? We need to let the things go in our own lives that, happen. We all got skeletons in our closet. And the first person that says that they don't, they lie. Everybody has skeletons in their closet. I have multiple skeletons in my closet, but I thank God that even in the midst of the skeletons, that it no longer holds me captive. It no longer makes me, always have to go back and make sure that they're in the closet, that nobody knows about it, that nobody is focused on those things. We all have things going on in our lives. We all have stuff in our closet. So, you got to be free by letting those things go. You got to stop focusing on what you have or what you've been through, what you're going through, and focus on living. We only have one life. And if we continue to look at the other things or look at, what was and look at what was behind us, we're never going to be free. We're never going to be able to walk into the purposes that God has for us. We're never going to be able to just let it just move on. And you got to purge that stuff. Just like we go through our closets, we have to purge stuff, and we have to move things from the summer to the winter. We got to move things out that are too small or just out of style. We also have to purge in our lives. We have to look at what belongs in our life and what doesn't. We did a topic once before that says, who's on your front row? That's purging. Everybody doesn't deserve to be in your life. Everybody does not deserve to be a part of that immediate circle. Yeah, we're grateful to have friends, but if those people in your life aren't positive, if those things aren't in your life that are keeping us walking the way that we need to walk and do the things that we need to do and hold us accountable again, then why are they there? Why are they there? Because that's keeping us in a position of just holding on to stuff that is no good. Why do we need it? Do we need people in our lives that are constantly reminding us of where we've been? Do we need people in our lives that are constantly, putting us down or telling us that we're not going to be anything or we're never going to amount to anything? Why do you need that? We need to free ourselves of toxic relationships that are not taking us anywhere. We need to free ourselves of people who are not pushing us into purpose, who are not propelling us to be better people. We need to not have toxic relationships in our life, because where is it going? What are you going to do? You see where, if you're in a relationship and you can't define where that relationship is going in the next year or in the next 2 years, if it's not seeming to be productive, if you all are not doing anything that is, equipping you to become better people, then why are you in it? Why are you allowing that to destroy who you are? Why are you allowing that to just make you feel like that, I can't do any better. I'm content in being where I am. We have to free ourselves from toxic relationships. We have to free ourselves from things that are just not being, positive in our lives. And we have to detach ourselves from being in fear. Free ourselves from being afraid. What does that mean? It means that we cannot be afraid to just walk out. We cannot be afraid. Let me back. I stayed in my marriage because I didn't work for 2 years after my mother passed. I was not working. And I was so afraid that if I left out of that relationship, that I would not be able to make it because I didn't have the money. But then God quickly reminded me, who are you going to put your trust in? That money, that person, or are you going to put your trust in me? I began to trust God, and I began to leave that fear alone. Leave the fear that I couldn't make it on my own. Leave the fear that I wasn't going to be able to find a job again. Don't allow yourself to stay in a situation because you are afraid of what tomorrow's going to hold. You are afraid of how you're going to make it. You are afraid of, if you're going to be able to financially support yourself. God will take care of us. If we trust him, if we depend on him, he's going to make sure that every single thing that we need, we're going to be able to have it. But we got to relinquish fear. We got to let it go, because if we don't, fear will control us. Fear will have its way. We will be walking around bound up. We will be walking around chained up, thinking that we can never move from step A to step B because we are so we're being controlled by fear. We can't allow fear to control us anymore. And the other thing, as far as fear controlling us, we got to learn to express ourselves. We got to be free to express who we are. We can never move to the next step being afraid of saying what's on your mind. One of my friends used to say what you mean what you say, just don't say it mean. Stop holding in what you feel. It eats us up from the inside out. I remember just, being in my relationship, in my marriage, and I was just holding on to so much anger, holding on to so much just contentment, holding on to so much pain that it was like I was just dying. I was literally dying. So instead of speaking what I was feeling, that I just didn't want to be in this anymore, that it was not what God had for me, I began to eat. I began to just eat until, that was my comfort. That was how I was expressing myself through food. And I began to just expand because, the wrong ways, instead of just trusting, okay, God, you gave me a voice. And because of that voice, I'm able to know that I can do, I can get out of this. I can get myself to a better position. I can get myself out of this situation. We cannot be afraid to say what's on our mind. It's okay to speak your mind, but you just got to know how to speak it. You can't, it doesn't mean to be nasty to people, but it does mean that we have to be able to say that, I have a mind, I have a voice, and I can speak with concise, I can speak with clarity. I can let people know that, what I feel is not what you feel, that I don't have to be determined by what somebody else thinks that I should feel and what I should say. The other thing that we need to talk about is forgiveness. We gotta forgive. Unforgiveness will destroy us. Unforgiveness will kill us. We get so caught up on, well, they did this to me, or they said that to me. Stuff that probably happened years ago, nobody even remembers. We get so caught up on being hurt. Yes, everybody's been hurt. Everybody's gone through something. But the one thing that will free you is forgiveness. Forgiving that person. How do I know? Because I stand as a witness. I wasn't able to go face to face with my molester when I got an adult. I found out that person was sick and they were going to die. I tried to get to them before they died because I wanted to be able to express myself. Well, I wasn't able to do that either. But I prayed and I asked God, can I please, I have to let this go, because if I don't, it's going to continue to rule over my life. It's going to rule over every relationship that I go in, and I needed to stop now. I need to break it right now. So God allowed me to go to the funeral. I went to the funeral and I asked for forgiveness. I asked not for forgiveness from them, but forgiveness from me, that I allowed them to hold me captive. All of those years that I allowed what they did to me to continue to keep me bound in every relationship, to keep me from being able to experience what true intimacy in a relationship, in a friendship meant, because I didn't trust anybody. I refuse to allow somebody to have that type of control over my life any further. So I asked on that day that God would allow me to forgive them so that I could live my life free. So if somebody has done something to you, if somebody has hurt you, if somebody has, ridiculed you and made you feel like that you're nothing, if somebody has abused you, you gotta forgive them. You have to forgive them, not for themselves, but you gotta forgive them for you, because you're the one who wants to be set free. You're the one who wants to be released from being in captivity of self and of the things that have constantly weighed you down. You gotta let it go. And I promise you, the moment that you let it go, you will start seeing doors begin to open, avenues that you hadn't even begun to imagine could happen. Things will begin to change in your life, because God sees that you're walking in a new direction. God sees that you are letting things go that are constantly pulling you down. You can't bring me down anymore, because I have already released everything that has possibly happened in my life, everything that has caused me trauma, everything that has caused me hurt, everything that has caused me abuse. I have forgiven, and because I have forgiven, I am free, and free indeed. So I want to encourage you on today. The only way that you're going to be free, the only way that you're going to be able to take those shackles off, is that you have to first look in the mirror. You have to be able to identify the person that you see. Is that person that's looking back at you in the mirror, can you say with 100% certainty that I am free and free indeed? If you cannot say that, then you need to examine what parts of my life do I need to I need to examine, and I need to let some things go. Let some people go that have not caused me to walk in purpose, that have not caused me to be prosperous, that have caused me nothing but grief, that has caused me nothing but hurt and harm. You need to do some evaluation. You need to do some things that are going to do some cleansing. You need to cleanse yourself from the inside out. What is in me that is creating an atmosphere of unforgiveness? What is in me that is creating an atmosphere of being able of unprosperous, of being unforgiving to others and unforgiving of the things that I've gone through? We beat ourselves up so much. We beat ourselves up constantly, making ourselves feel like we're nothing. We don't have to worry about anybody else telling us what we're not going to be, because we are always there. Oh, you can't do this, or you're not going to be able to do that. I'm never going to be able to, get my doctorate degree. I'm never going to be able to go back to school. I'm never going to get that good job because I don't have the qualifications. Honey, you better free yourself, and you better trust that you are more than a conqueror, that you can do anything that you put your mind to. You can do anything that you put your hands to, because it's really not about you. It's that God working through you and in you, that you can achieve anything that you want to do. But you can never do that until you free yourself. You got to believe in your mind, you know what? I'm free. I'm free of the things that people want to talk about. I'm free of the things that, make me feel like I'm never going to be anything. I'm free of the naysayers who talk about me when I go walk out and I go, trying to do better. I'm free of how they chastise me. I'm free of everything. I'm just walking knowing that I am better. I am better than who people say I am. I am better than who people try to make me feel like. I am free of people criticizing me, because you know what? They don't have a heaven or hell to put you in for real. So why do we worry about what people say about us? Why do we concern ourselves? When people gonna talk, they talked about Jesus. So of course they're gonna talk about us. It's okay. You gotta be free of worrying about what somebody says about you. You gotta be free of how they're gonna talk about you, or how they're going to look at you because you don't look like them, you don't act like them, you don't talk like them. So what? That's their problem, not yours. You gotta free yourselves to be who it is that God has purposed you, that God has called you, that God has anointed you to be. You gotta free yourself. Nobody can do it. We want to blame everybody else for why we are walking around, with head coverings on, and still with the sackcloths on, feeling like, it's all about us, that the woe is me. You got to let that stuff go, honey, because the only way you going to be who God called you to be is that you got to recognize who you are. You got to be who you are. You got to walk in it, even when people don't understand it, even when they don't, they don't know it. They don't understand. They don't care, because it's not about you. It's about them. So I want you to just know that you are free, and you can, even if you don't think that you're free, even if you haven't freed yourself of some stuff, you can be free. You can free yourself right now, because you can look at yourself and you can just surrender it all to God. You can let him know, you know what? I have walked with this baggage. I have walked with this situation. I have walked with this abuse. I have walked with this rape over me. I have walked with this molestation over me. I've walked in alcoholism. If you are free and you're no longer walking in that, you got to be free, because you can't do it without God's help. You got to trust that God's going to walk with you. You got to trust that God's going to talk with you. You got to trust that God is going to take control. But he is such a gentleman. He's not going to do it until you give him the control to do it. He's not going to just walk in and say, okay, wait a minute. I'm going to free you of this. I'm going to take this away from you. I'm going to do this. You got to give it to him. You got to say, you know what? I can't do it on my own anymore. I've tried it. Here it go, God. Here you go. Do what you do. Do what you know is best for me. I know that I cannot be prosperous. I can't help anybody if I'm still holding on to what happened to me 50 years ago or 10 years ago or even last week. I can't walk around being, in a position of just focusing on other people. I can only focus on what you have for me, where you're taking me to, and how you're directing me. Free yourself of everything that holds you captive. So today we're going to detach ourselves from fear. We're going to let it go. Those things that we feel like that we can never accomplish, that we can never do, we're going to let it go today. And we're going to walk knowing that our heads are held high. We're going to walk today knowing that chains have been broken off of us. We're going to walk today knowing that nothing can keep us from walking in the positivity that God has created for us. Nothing can keep us from walking in the promises that he has for us, that there is no fear that we could ever hold on to that can keep us from being who God created us to be. So today we're going to let go of fear, because fear causes nothing but us to stay stagnant. And we don't want to be stagnant anymore. We don't want to be the ones that are just sitting on the sidelines watching everybody else being blessed. We want to let go of that fear so that we can receive some of the blessings that God has for us. We're going to set ourselves free today, because we're going to start expressing what we feel. We're going to start letting people know how we feel. If they do something to hurt us, we're going to start expressing to them and letting them know how we've been hurt. We're going to be able to, do, what is the other thing? We're going to be able to just exhale. We're going to be able to just say, what was. Today is a new day. Tomorrow's a whole nother day. I can't focus on tomorrow when I'm living in today. Let me get through today. God's already taken care of tomorrow. Today, we're just going to exhale. We're going to examine. We're going to evaluate. We're going to be able to look deep within ourselves. And we're going to ask God, what is holding me back? What is keeping me captive? How can I let it go? I'm ready to just be used by you. But I know that I can't be used by you until I am truly walking in purpose, until I am truly walking in the anointing. I can't do that until I know that I am free of everything that was. And now I'm just walking knowing that I'm just blessed. We are so blessed. And we can walk being blessed when we know that we are free. So again, today, I just want to encourage you, be free. Be who you are. Be free to just identify with no one else but you. Don't be like other people. Yesterday, we talked about being originators, imitators, duplicators, and perpetrators. We don't want to be any of those. Except for originators. The originators is just being who we are. Knowing we're not trying to imitate anybody else. We're not trying to be like somebody else. We just want to be who God has called us to be. We want to let go of the pain. We want to let go of the hurt. We want to let go of all of those things that have caused us to be where we are, that keeps us feeling like our, the little rat that runs around in a circle chasing his tail. We don't want to chase our tail anymore. We want to be free. We want to walk, not even having the shackles on us anymore. I don't want to have broken shackles on me. I want to be free of the shackles, and I want you to be free of the shackles. The only way that you can be free of the shackles is to surrender it all. Let God know, for you I live, for you I die. Only way you can do that is to be free and to be true to yourselves. I want to thank you guys for just joining me today. Thank you for just your prayers. Thank you for everybody who's watched. Hi, Miss Rosette. Hi, Reverend Ernest. Hi, Kim. I can't see everybody. Ernestine, thank you so much for watching. Lawana, Reverend Lawana, Bishop Otay, and First Lady Otay, Sandra, trying to see everybody so I can say Greta. She says that I'm tired. That didn't work. Well, the only way, it may not have worked, but I promise you that if you may have done it on your own. But if you let God have control of you, Greta, God will do it. We all have been hurt. We all have gone through some particular things, and I don't know what your situation is, and it's not even important. But if you really want to be free, if you really are sick and tired of being sick and tired, trust God. Give it to him. Surrender it all to him and let him be the one. You can't fix it. No matter how many times we put our hands in it, it will never fix it. We have to trust God. We have to give it to him and allow him to work things out in our life. That means that we have to be in relationship with God. That means we have to be able to talk to him one-on-one and say, you know what, God, for real, I don't know how, I can't handle this no more. I can't deal with this no more. It's eating me up from the inside out. My family has forsaken me. My friends have turned their back on me. Things just not working out in my life. And I just need you to free me from anything that keeps me from walking in your purpose. And you can't expect God to free you of things within your family if you're not asking him to free you of things that are going on in your own life. You got to deal with self first, and then God will work out everything else. So it becomes us. We got to be willing to just be one with him. We got to be able to communicate with him. And Greta, if you want to talk to me later, if you want, we can pray together, please contact me. You can call me or DM me, whatever you need to do, and I will make sure that I keep you in prayer. Thank you, my cousin Chester from Florida, and his beautiful fiance Tiff. We thank God for you all. Darnell, Miss Judith, Antonio, Renee, my sister, Duran. So I just want to thank you guys for watching today. Please keep me prayed up. Please keep the ministry prayed up, that we will be obedient, and that I pray that these messages are blessing you. If it's something specific you want me to talk about, please feel free to hit me up. Love you all. Be blessed.